The APRU Indigenous and First Nations Knowledges Network honors the sovereignty and self-determination of Indigenous peoples, acknowledging their rights to maintain and strengthen their distinct political, legal, economic, social, spiritual, and cultural institutions. Recognizing Indigenous knowledge systems as essential to building a more sustainable future and addressing climate change.
That is why we promote the strategies that help preserve, strengthen, recognize, and value ancestral knowledge, while encouraging APRU member institutions to actively support and collaborate with Indigenous communities.
To affirm the importance of Indigenous peoples and Indigenous knowledge systems. The Indigenous and First Nations Knowledges Network of the Association of Pacific Rim Universities recognizes and affirms the profound importance of Indigenous peoples and Indigenous knowledge systems. Indigenous communities across the Pacific possess rich cultural heritage, deep connections to land and waters, and invaluable wisdom passed down through generations.
To honor the sovereignty and self-determinations of Indigenous peoples are the original custodians of their ancestral lands and waters. Their identities, languages, and traditions are integral to the cultural diversity and the resilience of our global community. We honor the sovereignty and self-determinations of Indigenous peoples, acknowledging their rights to maintain and strengthen their distinct political, legal, economic, social, spiritual, and cultural institutions.
To emphasize the primacy of Indigenous knowledge encompasses a holistic understanding of the world rooted in a deep relationship with nature and the environment. These knowledge systems include sustainable practice, ecological stewardship, and innovative solutions that are vital for addressing contemporary global challenges such as climate change, biodiversity loss, and sustainable development.
To commit to inclusion, safety, protection, and respect the environment, we are committed to fostering an inclusive, safe, and respectful academic environment that values and integrates Indigenous perspectives. The inclusion of Indigenous knowledge systems in research, education, and policymaking enriches our collective understanding and contributes to more equitable and sustainable futures. We emphasize the importance of ensuring the safety and protection of Indigenous academics, professionals and non-professional staff, students, and their communities.
This involves creating safe spaces where Indigenous individuals feel respected, embraced, and a true sense of belonging. Addressing discrimination by actively confronting prejudice, harassment, and violence within academia. Providing support services through culturally relevant well-being resources, mentorship, and community networks. And defending intellectual property by protecting Indigenous knowledge, data, and system of recognition and credit.
To create and enhance opportunities, we are dedicated to supporting Indigenous students, academics, professional staff, and their communities in taking full advantage of the opportunities afforded by universities, while advancing Indigenous education by privileging Indigenous epistemologies and pedagogies in higher education.
This includes promoting access to education through equitable opportunities and scholarships for Indigenous students, supporting professional development and career advancement for Indigenous staff and academics, strengthening research and collaboration through Indigenous-led projects and partnerships, and fostering meaningful community engagement to ensure academic initiatives align with Indigenous community needs and aspirations.
We call upon all member institutions of APRU to actively support and collaborate with Indigenous communities. This includes promoting Indigenous-led research, ensuring the protection of Indigenous intellectual property, and creating opportunities for Indigenous voices to be heard and respected in all areas of academic and public life.
Together, we can build a future that honours the wisdom of Indigenous peoples, ensures their safety and protection, and allows their knowledge to thrive and benefit all of humanity.
The responsibility to protect, respect, and elevate Indigenous knowledge does not belong to Indigenous communities alone. It is a shared commitment that requires action from universities, researchers, educators, and leaders across the APRU network.
Ancestral wisdom guiding collective futures.
Lyric, Nagi, Lirindagat, Odia, Nalingo, Yelamboy.
La sabiduría ancestral guiando los futuros colectivos.
ਸਾਡੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗਾਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਦਿਖਾਏਗੀ।
La sabiduría ancestral guiando los futuros colectivos.
La sabiduría ancestral guiando los futuros colectivos.
Pemandai tayung nyakar aran sunis sendu.
La sabiduría ancestral guiando los futuros colectivos.
Kinaadman sa mga katigulangan nga naggiya sa atong kaugbaong kahiusahan.
Kamua Kamuri.